What's shaking, everybody? It's summertime here in Chicago, and the Tour de France is coming up on July 4th, the 96th running. I've always been a runner. For those of you who don't know me, I was always a runner, but a couple years ago I picked up cycling, and I've been reading a lot and learning a lot about the sport, and love it. I'm going to be competing in my first triathlon coming up here in mid-July. But I found some parallels for becoming a great cyclist to becoming a great seller, and I thought those would be beneficial to share with you now. The first one is what I call specificity of training. That when I first started out cycling, I would just get on the bike and try to ride farther and try to ride faster. And you know, I rode regularly and rode consistently, and that was important. But then I met Robbie Ventura, who used to ride with Lance Armstrong and was on the postal team in the Tour de France. And he taught me that specificity of training was critical. And what he meant by that was that some days of the week you need to train for your VO2, or a maximum oxygen uptake. Other days you need to train right around your lactate threshold, where the body starts to convert lactic acid. And then you also have to do the long aerobic ride. So that specificity of training leads to greater fitness. I think in selling and sales training, specificity of training is also critical. Meaning that when you go to do sales training, instead of taking some canned sales training program off the shelf, you need to have specificity, meaning that you need to design the questions and design the scripts and design the process and design the objection handling techniques and selling your value all around your specific product or service and the benefits of that product or service. So the training has to be completely customized, and you have to have great specificity to it if you want to get the maximum value from the training. Another parallel to being a great cyclist is you have to be a great team player. If you're going to compete in the Tour de France, you'll notice that the teams always ride together and they cover for each other. It's very much a team sport, even though an individual can win it. Same thing in the world of selling, that if you're working for a particular company, if you scratch somebody else's back, they'll scratch your back. And I've found that the most effective sellers were good team players. They encourage their colleagues and their friends in the sales organization to succeed, and that kind of good karma came back to get them. Similarly, to be a great cyclist, you also have to learn how to draft. If you've ever watched the peloton in the Tour de France, where you see that big pack of cyclists riding together, the lead cyclist is setting the pace, but those cyclists who are following in behind them very closely are actually conserving about 30% of their energy, because the lead rider is actually breaking the wind and the energy and inertia for them. So by being tight in that peloton and drafting off their fellow cyclists, they're better positioned to make a run for the lead when their time comes up. I think the same thing is true in selling, that if you're a salesperson in an organization today, you want to find the very best sellers in that organization, and you want to take them out for a beer or take them out for a meal or meet them for coffee or co-travel with them, so you can learn those skills and those tactics and those strategies that they use to excel, so you can incorporate that in your own selling protocol, so to speak. And another parallel from cycling is that I've noticed that the very best cyclists, whether it's Lance Armstrong or Alberto Contador or one of the other leading cyclists in the world today, they always have the ability to sprint and pull away from the pack when necessary. They have the ability, when the time is right, to turn their energy, turn their passion, turn that juice up a notch, just like Lance Armstrong did in the 10th stage of the 2001 Tour de France, when he looked back at the German rider Jan Ullrich and gave him the look like, now's the time, it's make or break time, my friend. And that's when Lance Armstrong blew Jan Ullrich away, and for the last 20 minutes won that stage. I find the same thing with great salespeople, that when it's getting close to the end of the quarter, end of the year, that they're so determined to win their prize as the top seller that they have the ability to turn it up a notch, make those extra calls, be extra enthusiastic, extra passionate, whatever is necessary to claim their day on the podium and collect their sales Oscar. So these are a few things that I learned from cycling that I hope you find are applicable in the world of selling. And so I encourage you to go out there and sell like never before, and you'll find yourself on the podium just like maybe Lance will this year in 2009. Take care. Thanks, everybody.